everyone, welcome back to my channel. Easter is right around the corner and I am bringing you a compilation of some of my past Easter DIYs for your inspiration. So if you want to know how to make them, stick around. I'll show you how. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Okay, for this first one, I'm just going to take one of the Dollar Tree rabbits and I'm going to take some of the Jenga blocks from Dollar Tree and I'm going to glue 4 of them together. 2 on the bottom and 2 on the top, and I'm just using my hot glue to do it. Then I'm going to attach all 4 of them with some hot glue right to the center of the rabbit, and that's going to make him stand up. Next, I'm going to take some blue painter's tape, and I'm just going to go across both top of both toes on the front and the back because I'm going to do a dual tone on this rabbit. And I'm going to paint the top part with the Waverly Antique Wax. And if you get this too thick, you can spritz it a little bit with some water and it will thin down a lot. And you want to paint both front and back on this piece. Next, I'm going to take the painter's tape after everything's dried and I'm going to go across the top of that line on both the front and the back because I'm going to paint the white part on the bottom part. And I'm just going to use a folk art chalk paint. It's called a White Adirondack. And I'm going to paint the little stand in the back white too. And I ended up having to use probably 3 coats on the white to get it to where I wanted it. Next, I'm just going to take some jute and I'm just going to go right around his neck area a few times. And then I'm just going to tie that off on offset on the side in a bow. Okay, next I'm going to take some 3 little bunnies I got at Dollar Tree also, and I'm going to paint them with that same antique wax. And I'm going to take 2 12mm half beads and paint them the same color. After those dry, I'm going to go ahead and center one of them right into the center of the bottom part. And I'm going to put one of the little beads on. And then I'm going to bring my ruler in to make sure I get all mine lined up well. And then I'm going to paint put the other 2 on and put the other bead on. Just putting a rabbit bead, rabbit bead, rabbit. Just make sure you get them lined up because if it's standing up, you will notice that it's not straight. But that's why I'm bringing my ruler in, just to make sure. Okay, next I'm just coming in with a little tag and one of these little punches, and I'm typing the word Hoppy and putting it on a little tag, and I'm just going to attach it right up there on top of that jute. Just going to tie it right into that bow. And then I'm going to take a little brad, stick it to the top hole, and open that up just to kind of fill in that hole a little bit. This was a pretty quick and easy one. It turned out super cute. I put this on my fireplace mantle. I really like this one. Let me know in the comments which one of these is your favorite. The next one, I got these little rabbits at Michael's, and I'm just going to fill in each hole with some wood putty. This was like a garland, and I'm just going to cover up those holes. Just kind of fill it in real good so they don't come out. Then next, I'm going to just go ahead and sand them after they've dried. Okay, next, I'm just going to take the Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm going to paint both sides of these. Next, I'm going to take the folk art chalk paint and I'm just going to make polka dots on this. Now, take your time on this. I'm using a real fine pointed paint brush. I'm going to go ahead and put a dot over both of the holes that I filled in with the wood putty. And then I'm going to start putting polka dots on them. Just kind of randomly space them out. If you take your time on this, you can get it pretty spaced out. Just don't put them lined up together. Kind of really space them out. And I'm putting polka dots on just one side of mine. You can alternate if you want to and not have, have maybe a polka dot one, a solid one, a polka dot, a solid one, but I'm going to do all mine with the polka dots. Next, I got these little 1.5-inch pom-poms, and if you roll them up in your hand like this, you can make them really fluffy. They fluff up so good if you just kind of take some time and roll them around. And next, I'm taking the Jenga blocks and I'm going to attach these to the back. So attach 2 to each one of these. And we're just wood gluing them together. And then we're going to attach these to the back of our bunnies. Okay, next I'm just going to take a 1x2 piece of wood that's 22 inches in length. And I'm just going to paint the entire thing with that same white chalk paint. Just make sure you get both ends done good and then paint the entire thing. Okay, next I'm coming in with that same antique wax, and I'm just going to distress this exactly like I did the little park bench. And you want to do this while your paint is still a little bit wet. If it dries, you can just add a little bit more white on it, but we're just going to go ahead and distress the entire thing. Okay, next, the little pieces that I made for the back of each bunny, I'm going to go ahead and paint those with that same antique wax paint as well. That way it'll match the rabbit that it's hooked to. And just do the top and the bottom on all of them. Okay, next I'm going to start attaching my pieces. I'm going to take a ruler and line these up just to make sure that they're standing straight up, and you want to make sure you go all the way to the bottom because these are going to have to stand up on the little platform. And I'm using E6000 glue and hot glue to hook these together. Just check it to make sure it does stand up straight. And kind of look from an angle, make sure it isn't leaning to one side. And then just go ahead and glue all those down. Okay, next I'm going to start lining them up on my board and just kind of put them all on there at one time, and then just make sure that they're spaced out good, and then you can start gluing them together. Just kind of step back and take a look at them, but we are going to glue them to the back edge. And then I'm just going to attach mine with a little E6000 glue, a little hot glue, and I'm putting it right up against the back edge. And just keep doing that until you have all of yours glued down. Okay, next I'm just going to take some thin jute twine and I'm going to wrap it around the neck of the rabbit 2 times, and then I'm going to tie it off in a bow over to the side. Now you could have done this a little bit easier had you done it before you attach these to this board. Okay, next I'm just going to add a little pom-pom right down to the bottom part. Just kind of go up, I'm probably going up about a ½ inch from the base, and just do that to all of them. Next, I had some Scrabble letters that spelled spring, and I'm going to attach one to each one of the bunnies, kind of at a tilted side on the top part of their head. And I'm going to attach them with just a double-sided adhesive foam tape. Just kind of wanted it lifted up off there a little bit. And I'm just kind of attaching them at a tilt. I think this one turned out super cute. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, for this first one, I'm going to use a Hobby Lobby wood cutout of a rabbit, and I'm just going to go ahead and remove the tail with my embossing gun. Next, I'm going to paint the entire thing with a folk art chalk paint in white. Then I'm going to come back in with the Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm just going to put some brown stripes all over it, and then I'm going to blend them in with my white paintbrush and some white. Then I'm going to go ahead and paint the entire thing all around on the sides in that same white. So just kind of make sure it's completely filled in all the way around. Next, I'm going to take a piece of fabric that I got, and I'm just going to fold this to make it like a little pocket so I can put some greenery in it. Just going to kind of make sure that it fits on there, how far I want it to come down, and then I'm going to start gluing it together. I'm just going to make a little pocket. You can do whatever size you want. Just depends on what bunny you're actually using, if you can find this bunny there too. And I'm just going to go ahead and do both sides, the top and the bottom, just to make sure it's completely trimmed out so you don't see any of the fringe from the thread. And this is kind of almost like a burlap fabric. It was kind of, it was on sale at Hobby Lobby. It was just in the middle aisle, and I just grabbed it because it was green. But you could use burlap or whatever you want. Then I'm coming down, and I'm going to make like a little cuff on here. And I didn't want the other side of the fabric to show, so I'm just kind of pulling it down and overlapping it. Then I'm just going to go ahead and glue it down, and then I'm going to glue the underside down as well. Just kind of making a little flap, fake flap. And then I'm going to start gluing it right to my board. So I'm just going to start at the bottom, glue that down to make sure it's straight first. And then I'll come in and glue my sides in. Just don't glue the top part. And you want to leave a little space on the side of where the flap is, because we're going to come back in and put some jute yarn in there. Okay, go ahead and take your jute, and we're just going to attach it on both sides of that little pocket area or the little flap area. Just kind of glue it in on each side. And I'm just having to use a little stick to kind of push it in there because I did put a little bit too much glue too fast. And I'm going to do this other side as well, and then I'm going to tie those together into a bow across the front. And then just cut off the excess thread. Next, I'm going to take some greenery. I got this at Amazon. It's just some boxwood, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it right into the pocket. And I'm adding a little bit. I'm adding one complete piece and then a half of another piece. And I'm just going to put a rubber band around it just to hold it together. Okay, next I'm just going to take some little embellishments that I got over at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to glue those right down to the very front. Okay, then I'm going to take some green and white checked ribbon, and I'm just going to make a bow to put on the very corner of one of the ears. Just kind of make some loops. And then we're going to put a piece of wire in the middle, and then I'm just going to wrap another piece of ribbon around it, just kind of seal it together. And then just glue that shut in the back. And then I'm just going to glue that right over the bottom part of one of the ears. And that was pretty easy. That was all that one took. Right, there you have it. Let me know which one is your favorite in the comments below. Love to hear from you. For this next one, I'm using an egg, some Mod Podge, and then I'm using some of the fabric from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut it in 1/2-inch strips. This is really a quick and easy project. It doesn't take much work to do it, and you're just going to go ahead and Mod Podge the back of each of your pieces of fabric, and all you're going to do is just wrap them around your egg. And you keep going until you get them completely sealed up. And I tried this 2 different ways. I tried by putting the Mod Podge onto the egg first, and then doing this, and I did it this way too. This was actually the easiest way to do this. So you're just going to start at the top and then just kind of rotate around. And you can do this with any kind of cotton fabric. I just thought that this farmhouse fabric that they had at the Dollar Tree was so cute. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut all my little strands off of it. And then I just put it aside and let it dry. And you can use these for so many different things. You can put them in a bowl. You can put them in an arrangement. I'll show you in a little bit what I did with mine. But they're so easy and simple. Okay, for this one, I'm just going to take a wire, and I'm going to take some of the Dollar Tree little eggs, and I'm just going to attach this to the bottom of the egg so that I can paint them. Now, they have 2 holes in the bottom, so just put your wire in there. And then we're just going to take some styrofoam. I'm just going to cut a hole in it and put those in. Then I'm going to take these, and I'm going to paint these with an aged copper paint. And I'm also going to take one of the vases from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint it with the same aged copper paint. Then I'm going to take my eggs, and I'm just going to put some trim right around the center. Just kind of line up your little curves there. And then I'm just going to put some trim right around the center to cover up that seam. And I'm going to use a total of 5 eggs on this one. Just kind of make sure that you get it completely sealed in where you don't have that seam anymore. Okay, next I'm coming in with some little crystals, and I'm just going to attach these right around the center of these. I'm going to put 8 on each one of these eggs. Just kind of space them out. And I'm just putting these on with hot glue only. Okay, next I'm just going to take a ribbon, and I'm just going to tie it right around the middle of my vase, and I'm just going to tie it in a bow. And I think I got this ribbon at Hobby Lobby. Okay, then I'm just going to take one of the $3 palettes from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to paint it with some white chalk paint. Then I'm going to come back in with some gray chalk paint and kind of distress a little bit. Just kind of put some dollops everywhere, and then we're going to blend it in with the white paint as well. Okay, then I'm taking one of the little bunnies that I got at the Target bullseye section for $3, and I'm just going to put some white chalk paint on it, kind of just to make it look more like stone. Then I'm going to start assembling it. I'm going to put some E6000 glue on the bottom of my vase and some hot glue, and I'm just going to attach it to my palette. And I'm just going to kind of offset it a little bit. Then I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to hang another little bunny. I got 3 of these little hanging bunnies at the Target bullseye section. And I'm just going to attach this to the top part of my vase with some hot glue and some E6000 glue. Okay, then to give it some color, I'm going to come in with some little boxwood, and I'm just going to cut some the stem off the bottom of them, and I'm just going to start attaching these to my piece. Go ahead and put your bunny on there with E6000 and hot glue, and then we're just going to start attaching the little greenery. And I'm just putting these in little bundles, and I'm just going to start attaching these, you know, just to kind of fill up the bottom part of them. And then I'm going to come back in with some of the little eggs, and I'm just going to stick those into the greenery. Just get it as full as you want it. I wanted it pretty full so it had a lot of color. And I'm using a little popsicle stick to kind of hold it down a little bit so I don't burn my fingers with the hot glue gun. And then I'm just going to attach my eggs with some hot glue right to the palette. Okay, then I'm just going to add some little tulips that I got at Michael's. Just kind of bend them out there a little bit, and then I'm going to add the rest of my eggs. This piece really did turn out really super cute. Tell me in the comments which one of these is your favorite, but this one really was pretty. Okay, for this first one, I'm just taking a bunny that I got at Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to paint it with some Rust-Oleum flat brown paint. And then he's like a little chocolate bunny. How cute is that? Then I'm going to take a 6-inch by 3.5-inch piece of cardstock, and I'm just going to score it right down the 3-inch line. I'm going to go ahead and fold it in half, and we're going to make a little backpack for him. So I'm going to glue down one side, and then I'm going to glue down the bottom, and then I'm just going to seal it up like an envelope. Okay, next I'm just going to cover it with some fabric, and I just got some linen fabric here. You just need enough to cover it up. And make sure your seam runs down the back. Cut off the bottom about 1 inch from the bottom, and then we're just going to glue it up. But you want to make sure that your seam ends in the center of the back, because that's what's going to be against the bunny and you won't see the line. Just kind of gluing all this in, and we're going to cut the top off about 1 inch from the top of the cardboard, and then we're just going to go ahead and glue it inside. Just tuck it on in. Okay, next I'm just going to take a ribbon, and I'm just going to figure out exactly how much I need to go around so I can tie a bow off in the front. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach my ribbon right to my little backpack. And we're going to kind of meet in the middle of the back. And then we're just going to tie it around the bunny, and we're going to tie our little bow off onto the side. And then just go ahead and clip off any excess ribbon. Okay, next I'm just going to grab some flowers, and I'm going to put them in his backpack. Now I'm going to kind of squeeze the backpack open a little bit to kind of break up the fibers a little bit. I'm going to bend my flowers outward so that they hang out the back a little bit, and I'm just going to start gluing them into the backpack. Next, I'm just going to take some moss, some green moss I got at Michael's, and I'm just going to put it in the front to kind of push all those flowers back away from his body. Then I'm going to add a couple more little flowers just to kind of fill in the gaps. And there he is. How cute is that? A little chocolate bunny. Let me know in the comments which one's your favorite. This next one, I'm just going to take some Campbell's soup cans, and I'm going to paint these with metallic oil rub bronze paint. Then I'm going to take some bunnies, and I'm giving you the pattern for these in the download. Go ahead and cut 2 of them out, and we're going to start gluing them together. And then we're just going to stuff these little bunnies with some stuffing. But just going to go around the outside edge, kind of take your time on this, get it glued in, and then we're going to start stuffing it in sections. And the easiest way to do this was to take some tweezers and just kind of go ahead and keep stuffing it in there. And then next, go ahead and do the head area and then stuff it, and then do the body and stuff it. If you try to do it all in one, you'll never get it up into the ears. Okay, and once you get it completely stuffed, we're going to leave the bottom part open, and we're going to attach a stick and down in the bottom. We're going to take a 1/4 inch dowel stick. We're going to cut it at 6 inches in length, and then we're going to go ahead and attach it inside of that bunny, and then we'll glue it in. Just make sure it's even on 6 inches because we're going to do 3 of these. This is exactly the same way. And then just go ahead and glue that in. Okay, next I'm just going to take some ribbon and I'm just going to tie it right around the neck area. This is a super simple one. Like I said, I've given you the pattern in the description below. It's both in PDF if you want to hand cut it. If you want to use it with the SVG, I've included that as well. If you cut this by hand, go ahead and cut both layers together so that they're perfectly even. So I'm just going to take some jute rope. I'm going to put some glue on one end of it to hold it together. I'm going to wrap it around 3 times to see how much I need, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. And then I'm going to cut all 3 of them exactly the same. And then I'm just going to take a lighter to kind of get the little frayed edges off of these. Okay, then I'm just going to go ahead and start wrapping them. Just go ahead and put some glue on one end just to hold it together so it doesn't fray. And then just going to go ahead and start wrapping them all the way around 3 times. And do the same thing for the other 2. Then I'm going to take that same lattice ribbon, this wire ribbon that I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to wrap it around the bottom. And those miter shears really cut this good. It made it a little bit easier than using pliers. And I'm just going to use some hot glue and some E6000 glue on all of them. Just kind of run it along the base edge of both sides, and then you won't see it, and it'll stay real well. Just kind of shape it as you're going around there. Next, I'm just going to glue some floral foam in each one of these. And you don't need a lot. Kind of push it on down there a little bit because we are going to add some rocks. You don't want too much in there. Then I'm going to take some boxwoods and my little bunnies. I'm just going to put it right down into each one of these little cans. And I did 2 in a light gray and 1 in a darker gray. Just kind of give it a little contrast. And then on my boxwoods, I changed it up a little bit. I'm going to take these little bundles and I'm going to bundle 5 of them together. And I'm going to do 4 bundles for each one of the little cans. And I'm just going to take the 5 and put them a rubber band around them to hold them together. Next, I just got some rocks out of my yard, and I'm just going to go ahead and push these down into this can. Now, when we add this little fence thing to the back of it, you're going to have some weight in the front, otherwise it'll tip over. So just push those rocks as far down as you can. And then we're going to cover them up with the greenery here in a little bit. Okay, then we're going to just start gluing in our little bundles. We're going to put 2 in the front and 2 in the back. Next, I'm taking this little fence I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut the side pieces off. The little tabs that make it hang together. Just be careful with this because I did snap one of mine, and I had to get another one. So just kind of take your time on cutting these pieces off. Okay, then I'm just going to start attaching it to my cans. I'm going to put one little peg into each one of my little cans. And then we're going to glue them in because it won't stand up straight if you don't. So just add a little bit of hot glue to the back on the peg and push it up against that can on each one of those. And hold it until it dries. Okay, then we're going to come back in and we're going to put the rest of the little bundles into the back area, so you can have 2 on each side in the back. All right, there you have it. I loved how this one turned out. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. If you like these kind of videos, be sure and give me a like. If you want to see future videos, be sure and subscribe and ring that bell to be notified when I have another video upload. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.